Chapter 11. The 9 Situations. Sun Tzu said, "The art of war recognizes 9 varieties of ground. 1. Dispersive ground. 2. Facile ground. 3. Contentious ground. 4. Open ground. 5. Ground of intersecting highways. 6. Serious ground. 7. Difficult ground. 8. Hemmed-in ground. 9. Desperate ground." If local interests fight each other in their own territory, this is called dispersed terrain. When soldiers are attached to their homes and fight near their homeland, they can be easily dispersed. When you penetrate foreign territory but do not go in depth, this is called light terrain. This means that the soldiers can easily return. The terrain that can be advantageous if you take it and advantageous to the enemy if they conquer it is called key terrain. Terrain of inevitable combat includes any defensive enclave or strategic pass. Terrain equally accessible to you and others is called communication terrain. The terrain that is surrounded by 3 rival territories and is the first to provide free access to everyone is called intersection terrain. Intersection terrain is where the main communication routes converge, uniting them. Be the first to occupy it, and people will have to be on your side. If you get it, you are safe. If you lose it, you are in danger. When you penetrate deep into foreign territory and leave behind many cities and towns, this terrain is called difficult. It is difficult terrain from which it is difficult to return. When you traverse wooded mountains, steep cliffs, or other difficult-to-pass obstacles, this is called unfavorable terrain. When access is narrow and the exit is tortuous, so that a small enemy unit can attack you, even if your troops are more numerous, this is called enclosed terrain. If you are capable of great adaptation, you can traverse this terrain. If you can only survive in a terrain by fighting quickly, and it is easy to die if you do not, this is called mortal terrain. Troops in mortal terrain are in the same situation as if they were in a sinking boat or a burning house. Therefore, do not fight in dispersed terrain, do not stop in light terrain, do not attack in key terrain, occupied by the enemy, do not allow your troops to be divided in communication terrain. In intersection terrains, establish communications, in difficult terrains, enter provision, in unfavorable terrains, continue marching, in enclosed terrains, make plans, in mortal terrains, fight. In dispersed terrain, soldiers can flee. Light terrain is when soldiers have penetrated enemy territory but still do not have their backs covered. That is why their minds are not really focused and they are not ready for battle. It is not advantageous to attack the enemy in key terrain. What is advantageous is to get there first. The communication terrain must not be isolated so that supply routes can be used. In intersection terrains, you will be safe if you establish alliances. If you lose them, you will be in danger. In difficult terrains, entering provisioned means gathering everything necessary to stay there for a long time. In unfavorable terrains, since you cannot entrench yourself in it, you must hurry to leave. In enclosed terrains, introduce surprise tactics. If troops fall into mortal terrain, everyone will fight spontaneously. This is why it is said, place the troops in mortal terrain and they will survive. Those who were once considered experts in the art of war were able to make the enemy lose contact between their vanguard and rearguard, the confidence between large and small units, the mutual interest in the well-being of different ranks, the mutual support between rulers and the ruled, the enlistment of soldiers, and the coherence of their armies. These experts acted when it was advantageous for them and refrained when it was not. They introduced changes to confuse the enemy, attacking here and there, terrorizing them and sowing confusion in them, so that they did not have time to make plans. One might ask how to face numerous and well-organized enemy forces heading toward you. The answer is to take away something they value first, and then they will listen to you. The speed of action is the essential factor of the military force condition, taking advantage of the enemy's mistakes, moving on unexpected paths, and attacking when they are not on guard. This means that to take advantage of the lack of preparation, vision, and caution of the adversaries, it is necessary to act quickly, and if you hesitate, these mistakes will not serve you at all. In an invasion, generally speaking, the more invaders penetrate foreign territory, the stronger they become, to the point that the native government can no longer expel them. Choose fertile fields, and the troops will have enough to eat. Take care of their health and avoid fatigue, consolidate their energy, and increase their strength. Make the movements of your troops and the preparation of your plans unfathomable. Consolidate the most enthusiastic energy of your troops, save the surplus forces, keep your formations and plans secret, remaining inscrutable to the enemies, and wait for a vulnerable point to advance. Place your troops in a point that has no way out, so that they have to die before they can escape. Because, in the face of the possibility of death, what would they not be willing to do? Warriors then give their best efforts. When faced with a serious danger, they lose fear. When there is nowhere else to go, they stand firm. When they are fully involved in a terrain, they cling to it. If they have no other choice, they will fight to the end. For this reason, soldiers are vigilant without needing to be stimulated, they enlist without needing to be called up, they are friendly without the need for promises, and they can be trusted naturally without promises or the need for hierarchy. Prohibit omens to avoid doubts, and soldiers will never abandon you. If your soldiers lack wealth, it is not because they despise it. If they lack longevity, it is not because they do not want to live longer. The day the marching order is given, the soldiers cry. Therefore, a skillfully prepared military operation should be like a swift snake that counterattacks with its tail when someone attacks it from the head, counterattacks with the head when someone attacks it from the tail, and counterattacks with head and tail when someone attacks it from the middle. This image represents the method of a battle line that responds quickly when attacked. A manual of 8 classic battle formations says, make the front the rear, make the rear the front, with 4 heads and 8 tails. Make the head be everywhere, and when the enemy rushes through the center, head and tail will come to the rescue. The question may arise as to whether it is possible to make a military force like a fast snake. The answer is yes. Even people who dislike each other, when in the same boat, will help each other in case of danger of capsizing. It is the force of the situation that makes this happen. Therefore, it is not enough to place trust in tied horses and fixed wheels. Horses are tied to form a stable battle line, and wheels are fixed to prevent the wagons from moving. But even so, this is not secure enough and cannot be relied upon. Variations to the changes made must be allowed, putting soldiers in deadly situations so that they fight spontaneously and help each other side by side. This is the path to safety and the achievement of certain victory. The best organization is to express valor and keep it constant. Success with weak and seasoned troops is based on circumstances. If you gain the advantage of terrain, you can defeat adversaries, even with light and weak troops. How much more possible would it be if you have powerful and seasoned troops? What makes victory possible for both types of troops is the circumstances of the terrain. Therefore, experts in military operations achieve the cooperation of the troops in such a way that leading a group is like leading a single individual who has only one choice. It is up to the general to be calm, reserved, fair, and methodical. Chapter 11 of The Art of War by Sun Tzu focuses on the concept of different types of terrains in warfare and how they can be strategically approached. In a business context, these terrains can be metaphorically applied to various aspects of business strategy and competition. Dispersion terrain, this is when local interests within a company compete against each other. In business, it represents internal conflicts or divisions. To succeed, a company must align its internal interests and resources. Home terrain, soldiers defending their home territory may become complacent. In business, if a company operates too comfortably in its existing market, it may become vulnerable to more agile competitors. Always be prepared to adapt. Light terrain, when entering a new market or expanding, it's important not to overextend. Keep operations agile and be ready to retreat if necessary. Key terrain, some markets or positions are strategically crucial. It's important to identify and secure these positions while denying them to competitors. Inevitable terrain, certain situations in business are unavoidable, like regulatory challenges or industry standards. Prepare for these inevitabilities in advance. Communication terrain, ensure efficient communication within your organization and with partners or customers. Effective communication is vital for success. Intersection terrain, in business, this represents markets or positions that are highly contested. Be the first to occupy such positions, but also be prepared to defend them. Difficult terrain, this refers to complex business environments, such as international markets or industries with numerous barriers to entry. Be well prepared and have a long-term strategy. Unfavorable terrain, some business environments are inherently challenging. It's crucial to adapt quickly and make the most of available opportunities. Encircled terrain, when a competitor has you surrounded, you must find innovative ways to break out of the encirclement or turn the situation to your advantage. Mortal terrain, these are situations where a business is at great risk, such as financial crises or existential threats. In such cases, rapid and effective action is essential for survival. In the business world, understanding and effectively navigating these terrains can help a company develop a more robust and adaptable strategic approach. It's about recognizing the challenges and opportunities presented by different situations and markets and adjusting your strategies accordingly.